Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cryptonews Weekly Roundup. Your hosts here, Zahab and Rachel Wolfson. Rachel, we are buzzing as always. What a week. I love the fake background you have. It is Cryptonews colors to a T. And we had a pretty wild week. Some pretty good news across the board. I don't think any bad news this week. And of course, a new Bitcoin all-time high. We love to see it. How are you?
Thanks, Matt. Doing well. Very excited about the Bitcoin all-time high. And this week was actually really great. So looking forward to talking about the news of the week.
Let's jump into it. Price action, as always. Bitcoin's up 1.6% this week. But that is not the big news. The big news is that Bitcoin hit another all-time high of 126 per Bitcoin earlier this week. That is 126,000. Of course, Ethereum is down 1.6% to 4.3K per ETH. BNB, the biggest gainer of the week by a country mile, was up huge, dropped a little bit, still up 18% to 1,250 per BNB. And Binance memes are going crazy right now as well, guys. XRP down 5.5% to 2.81 per Ripple. And everything, as you can see, the board in front of you right now is red. We have nothing but red on the board except for two on the 7-day, and that is the two orange coins, Bitcoin and BNB. Well, BNB might be more yellow, but I digress. It's close enough. Biggest news of the week, Rachel, throwing the ball over to your coin. Bitcoin, another all-time high of 126K.
Yeah, Matt. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about why this all-time high may have hit this week. So Bitcoin surged to a new record high above 126,000 on Monday, extending gains as investors sought shelter from political and economic uncertainty in the United States. The milestone added to a powerful run that has seen the cryptocurrency nearly double in value over the past year. Exchange balances fell to multi-year lows, with over 114,000 BTC leaving platforms in 2 weeks. That's crazy.
Absolute insane supply shock. Hopefully incoming there. Gold in the news. Candidly, I don't have any exposure to gold. I do not invest in gold. I probably should have invested in gold, as I'd be a rich man right now, but I didn't. On Wednesday, yesterday, as we always record on Thursday, and as this airs on Friday, gold hit a record of $4,035 per ounce of gold, as investors are looking for safety amid the U.S. government shutdowns and market uncertainty and turmoil. The metal has surged 30% since April, driven by Trump's tariffs, a weaker dollar, and record inflows into gold ETFs. Analysts warn that the rally could cool if the Fed raises rates, though expectations of cuts do continue the bullish sentiment with gold. Pretty wild stuff here. Speaking of Bitcoin, aka digital gold, real estate giant Opendoor has been on a parabolic run recently and recently announced that they will in the future be accepting Bitcoin and crypto for home buying, which is great news. Thanks. We love to see 101.
Yeah, so CEO Kaz Nejatan confirms Bitcoin acceptance for the $6.22 billion real estate platform operating across 44 U.S. markets as company stocks jump to $8.38 following this announcement. The announcement came through a social media exchange when Nejatan responded to a user suggestion about crypto payments by stating, we just need to prioritize it.
Pretty wild stuff there. Guys, when Rachel and I started the Cryptonews Weekly Roundup about a year and 3-4 months ago, back in 2024, the digital asset inflows and outflows for the ETFs would be 1 billion, and we would be saying, hey guys, new record of 1.5 billion inbound this week. Those days are over. 6 billion flooded into the inflows last week, which is the biggest by a country mile. Bitcoin led the charge with $3.55 billion, Ethereum at 1.48, and Sol at $706 million. Pretty wild stuff. This is driven by delayed responses to weak U.S. employment data and concerns over government stability following the shutdown that began on October 1st. Crazy to see that the crypto treasury and crypto ETF space is moving and grooving this hard. Moving forward, Aster in the news again. Just feels like Binance is dominating the news flow. DefiLlama, which is one of the biggest data platforms in the space, has delisted Aster volume data over suspected wash trading.
Yeah, so DefiLlama removed perpetual futures volume data for Aster, a decentralized exchange backed by figures linked to former Binance CEO, CZ, after detecting trading volumes that mirrored Binance's nearly 1-to-1 across multiple trading pairs. Co-founder Oxnigmi announced the delisting on October 5th, 2025, citing concerns over data integrity.
Wild stuff here. Moving forward, Morgan Stanley. Again, guys, when I got into crypto, I never thought that someone in such a powerful entity like Morgan Stanley would advise their clients to put 2 to 4% of their total portfolio into crypto. Yes, the Morgan Stanley Global Investment Committee has advised clients to allocate a small portion of their portfolios to cryptocurrency between 2 and 4%, depending on their risk, with a maximum of 4 and a very low nonsensical amount of 0 if you really don't want any exposure to crypto. This report was published last week. Again, can't believe this is happening. It really does seem that the convergence of TradFi and crypto is finally here. Pretty wild to hear this from Morgan Stanley. My favorite news in the week, I've been big on prediction markets for the last year or so. Polymarket just got a $2 billion stake from the New York Stock Exchange owner, and they now have a $10 billion valuation, almost $10 billion valuation, that is.
Yeah, Matt. So Intercontinental Exchange, also known as ICE's $2 billion push into Polymarket reads like Wall Street's gatekeeper putting a price on crowdsourcing truth, turning shutdown stalled odds, making into an exchange-grade asset at an $8 billion to $10 billion clip. ICE, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, will become a global distributor of Polymarket's event-driven data, offering clients new tools for gauging sentiment around political, economic, and cultural events. Insane valuation here, and it looks like prediction markets are here to stay. And also, I think the CEO of Polymarket is now considered a billionaire as well. So that is exciting news for Polymarket and their CEO.
Yeah, I think he's the youngest billionaire in the world present day. Pretty wild stuff here. Back-to-back Binance news coming at you guys. As we said earlier, Binance is dominating the news flow this week. BNB surged past 1,300 per BNB for the second new all-time high in a row this month, with a nearly 19% weekly gain, flipping XRP to become the world's third largest crypto. Again, this happened yesterday before we were recording today. Also topped all blockchains in 24-hour fees. Even wilder news, a trader on BNB turned $3,500 into $7.9 million. Holy crap. That is a 2,260x return. How is that for a bagger? He did this on Binance Life token. I mean, stay on the lookout for the BNB memes. They are going parabolic. They're going crazy. However, you will need to have Google Translate open, as many of these memes are written in Chinese or one of the Chinese dialects. I have not played around with them yet. I very well may. And when I do, I will have Google Translate open. And again, guys, not financial advice. Do your own research, and you have a 99% chance of losing money on these. However, they are ripping right now. Rachel, jumping back to you, China in the news again here.
Yeah, Matt, this is really interesting news taken from the Miner Weekly newsletter that I received this week. China's hidden hash rate is once again in focus following the Q4 2025 update from Luxor's global hash rate map, which estimates the country now accounts for 14.05% of Bitcoin's total compute power. That's a modest rise from 13.8% in Q3, maintaining China's position as the third largest contributor globally behind the US and Russia. Luxor's map, which is updated quarterly, has consistently confirmed what most in the Bitcoin mining industry already knew, that Bitcoin mining never entirely left China after the 2021 crackdown. It just moved off the grid. The latest uptick only reinforces this.
Guys, Zcash going absolutely crazy. It's been everywhere on Twitter. Also, shout out Mert, who started this parade. Zcash has seen crazy momentum on the social spheres, more specifically on Twitter. I even had some normie friends reach out to me and say they sell this on TikTok and Instagram. The altcoin is up 220% over the past 2 weeks amid a sharp rise in adoption, with more ZEC being moved into shielded addresses. The privacy narrative continues to heat up. Keep a lookout on Zcash. Rachel, I've thrown it back to you for the last piece of news this week. Hyperliquid, as always, in the news this week. This time, MetaMask launching Perps with Hyperliquid powering them on the back end.
Yeah, Matt. So MetaMask has entered the on-chain derivatives market with the launch of perpetual futures trading directly inside its mobile app, a move seen as a challenge to centralized exchanges. The update announced on October 8th by consensus introduces MetaMask Perps, powered by decentralized exchange Hyperliquid. The feature allows users to trade more than 150 tokens with up to 40 times leverage while maintaining full control of their private keys. That is really cool, and I'm excited to hear feedback on how that is.
Yeah, well done by the MetaMask and Hyperliquid team. Rachel, always a treat doing this with you. Guys, we love doing this with you. If you enjoyed this one, please hammer that like button, hammer the subscribe button. Every week, we're going to come at you with the hottest news in the crypto sphere. Bitcoin all-time high again. Seems like Rachel and I have announced literally 20 of these Bitcoin all-time highs since we started just about a year and a quarter, year and a half ago. Hopefully we have many more to go. Q4 is underway. October is on its way too. Appreciate it, guys. We love you. Appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks, Matt. See you guys next week. Bye.